Welcome creators, I'm Hommeyosh and this is my channel where we inspire creativity, explore game development tools and software that bring Unreal Engine projects to life. In this video we're building a target system in Unreal Engine with a target lock-on, camera zoom, and animation retargeting. By the end your character will lock onto enemies and react in real time using animation blueprints. This is part of my third-person game series, so if you missed anything, you can go back and check out the third-person game playlist on my channel. The link will be in the description. So with that said, hit that subscribe button and let's jump into the action. Alright, I'm opening up my Epic browser and I have this animation down here. And I'm just going to go into my animations. I got animation starter pack. Let me open that up. That's going to go to the Fab store. Okay, now that we're in the Fab store, this is the animation starter pack. I will have this link in the description so you can go ahead and get this. Or if you have another animation, you can also follow along with the same details. So I'm going to go to, after you get it, you can just add it to your project. And I'm going to go ahead, and because it is a little bit old, I think the last update was 5.2. So I'm going to go show all projects. I'm going to find my project that I've been working on. And as you can see, it doesn't have an update. It has an update for 5.2. So we're going to go ahead and get that. We're going to add to project. Now we're going to go ahead and open that project. So I'm going to go back outside of the Epic store, the Fab store. I'm going to go into Unreal Engine. Then I'm going to my library and I'm going to go ahead and open up that same project. So I found my project here. I'm just going to go ahead and open it. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go into my content drawer and I'm going to find that animation pack. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. And I just want to look for the jog. So there's the jog rifle, jog backwards, jog forward, jog left, and jog right rifle. We're not going to use the jump. We're just going to go ahead and use these four here. So I'm just going to go ahead and select one. I'm going to go ahead and right click on it and you'll see retarget animations. Now we're going to go ahead and find our mannequin. So I'm just going to scroll down here. I see my gold mannequin. I'm going to hover over it and that says the game character mannequins mesh. That's what we're going to use. Okay, so next I'm going to, in here, I'm going to do, just type in the jog. And as again, there's our four. I'm going to go ahead and click on the first one and I'm going to go ahead and hit shift and click on the last one here. So these are the four that I want. And I'm going to do export animations. So now I'm going to put that, I'm going to go under characters and I'm going to go under mannequins and you'll see animations and we want the mini animation. So we're going to hit that and then we're going to go ahead and export. I already have mine exported, so I'm just going to hit cancel. So we'll go ahead and close that out. So then we go to that under the content drawer. You go ahead and we're going to go under our characters. Oh, I still have jog in here. So I'm going to go under characters and I'm going to go under mannequins and I'm going to do animations, mani, and here's the four animations that are already retargeted to our character and ready for us to use. So I'm going to reset these animations for my shield. So I'm going to find the left hand, that is where the shield's at. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add 65. So for the rotation on the x-axis will be 65. And with that selected, I'm just going to hit key and go back to the content drawer. I'm going to do the next one, forwarder, double click. And I'm going to go ahead and add 65. Just make sure all four are the same. You double click and you just want to make sure you add 65. So they all should look like this. Key that in. Go back. Actually, he's not. I think I messed up with this guy. I think I added too much. Him in forward, looks good. He doesn't look good. Let me go make sure he's at 65. Let me key him in. So they all should be doing like the thumbs up. So that's it. Go ahead and save that. So that is how we change the animations for the shield. Okay, next I'm going to go into my character, third person character, onto the blueprint, and I got my character here. I'm going to go ahead and open him up, and I'm going all the way to the bottom here. I need a little bit of room. So I'm going to start down here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put key, and we want Z. So you can go ahead and make an input action. It does the same thing, but I'm just using this Z for now. You can always replace this with something else. And we're just going to use the press, and I'm going to use the flip-flop action so it does a toggle for me. Okay, next I want to go ahead and I want to make a Boolean. A Boolean, a variable. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and I am going to call this variable isTarget. And we're going to put a question mark on it. All right. I'm going to open up that little eyeball there. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to go ahead and get a set target. So isTarget, we got E is going to be true. And then we're going to go ahead and duplicate that. But I want to uncheck true. This one's going to be false. So it's going to toggle our variables on and off. Next, I'm going to go ahead and drag off of the true, and I want to get a sphere or trace for object. So we got a sphere, and that's not the right one. We want to look for a sphere trace for object. Object is where we look for. That had multi, so we are going to go ahead and get rid of the multi. Go ahead and delete that. And we're going to go ahead and connect this. We're going to pull it out a little bit. Stretch it out just out here. Give it a little bit of room. So we're going to be working down here. Next, I want to get actor location. And I'm going to go ahead and plug that into the start. Next, I want to get the follow camera. So I'm going to go here in the components, and I'm going to grab the follow camera. Just go ahead and drag that in. It'll get follow camera. And next I want to get world rotation. There it is, get world rotation. Let me back this up a little bit. Give a little room to breathe here. Next I want to get forward vector. Okay, then I just want to go ahead and multiply it. I just hit the little star there, then multiply comes up. And then I'm going to go ahead and hover over this little dot here and go ahead and we want to make that a integer. So we can go ahead and put that in here. So this is basically how far away out of 600 would be good, how close you are before you can target on. So we're going to go ahead and now add this. I'm just going to hit the little plus button. And add. So we're going to go ahead and drop this and hold in the control, drop it to the bottom, and I'm going to go ahead and attach the return value from the get actor location into the add, and then we're going to go ahead and put this into the end. And I'm going to make a radius 150. Let's just try 110 for now. That's just the radius of the trace. And for duration, I'm going to go ahead and, or for draw debug, I'm going to go ahead and put for duration. Under object type, I'm going to go ahead and make an array. And we're just going to call for pawns. So my enemies for pawns, that's what it's going to call for. Okay, next I'm going to slide over here. Pull sphere trace for objects over a little bit. And what I want to do is I want to get a branch. Okay, so I want the return value to go into the condition for the branch. We're going to go ahead and plug that in. And next I want to, on out hit, I want to go ahead and put a break hit result. Go ahead and bring that drop down that arrow there. And under hit actor, I'm just going to go ahead and promote this to a variable. And we're going to go ahead and actually just call this target actor. Okay, so anything that the target sees for pawns, it's going to go ahead and target it. So this is our target actor, which would be the pawn. I'm going to go ahead and compile and save. So now that you see that it made a target actor reference here, so we can go ahead and call on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here up a little bit, and I want to get an event tick. Okay, so the next I want to do is I want to get a branch, and the condition is going to be the is target. So that's our Boolean. We're calling on our Boolean again. This is the set right here. So the condition has to be true. I mean, this right here. If the condition is true, we're going to do something. If the condition is false, we're not going to do anything. So we're just going to leave that blank. So next I want to get controller. So there's our controller. And we're going to come off of this controller. We're going to get set controller rotation. Here's our controller rotation, and we're going to go ahead and plug that into the true. Oh, no, we want to get, yeah, that's what we want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and compile and save. So we're going to take care of those errors. Now we're going to get actor location. So I want to come off of new rotation, and I want to get find lock at rotation. Okay, so our starting is going to be get actor location. Next, I'm going to go ahead and get our target actor and go ahead and drag that in. And then I want to go ahead and get actor location. There's our get actor location, and we can go ahead and plug that into the target. Next thing I want to do is I want to pull out the target actor again, drag it over here, and I want to set target actor, make sure it is set to false. So this is going to go and reset everything. Before I test it out, I want to go ahead and add in a target actor. I want to get a target actor, and I'm going to go ahead and write and convert to validate get. And I'm going to go ahead and plug that in, and is valid. So this just checks if it is valid. So now I can go ahead and compile, and I hit play. So every time we hit Z, you can see it locked in, and I'll hit Z again. I can just walk away from him. I get this far away from him, and I can't see him. So this is the duration of the view. I have it set to 600, I believe it was. I hit Z to turn it off, and I go ahead and hit Z again, hit Z, and then I hit Z again, and it's targeted, as you can see. So all that is working. Right, when you see we get up to the player, it locks onto him, but I'm running away from him. So it's really like the camera's locked onto him, but my character is not like driving left or right. So that's what we're going to deal with right now. We're going to go ahead and turn that off. So I'm going to go back into my BP third person character here. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to get a use controller yaw. So I want to set controller rotation yaw. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set this to true. Go ahead and drag this in here. Now I want to get character movement. I'm going to go ahead and drag that in. Next, I'm going to get a get orientation movement. Sorry, I want to set orientation movement. And we're going to go ahead and plug in the character movement. Next, I'm going to do controller desired rotation. I'm going to right click. So I'm going to set use controller desired rotation. Now this is for the controller. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to keep those false. So the next thing I want to do is I want to make a Boolean. So this is going to be called target animation. This is going to be set for your animations. We're going to make a blend space when we get finished up here. But the next, we're just going to go ahead and make sure that character movement is targeted here. So next I want to do is I want to go ahead and copy all this. And I'm going to come down here to the false section. We're going to go ahead and drag these out, give it a little bit more room here. So now I'm just going to go ahead and paste those here. And we're going to make that false, and we're going to make these two true. And we're going to go ahead and connect that there. We're going to pull them in a little bit. So that looks good. We're going to go ahead and compile that. I'm going to save. So let's go ahead and make that Boolean. So we're going to go ahead and hit plus. We're going to call this target anim. Okay, so this is going to be for our animations. We're keeping it Boolean. Make sure it's going to be seen from other events. We're going to go ahead and drag this in. We're going to get the set target anim. And we're going to drop that in here. And we're going to go ahead and drop one here too. So we're going to go ahead and hit Control D. So here is the true side, and this is going to be the false. Now I'm going to go ahead and compile this and save. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go under the characters, and I'm looking for the mannequins, and I'm going for the animation and the ABP. That's the animation blueprint Manny. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. Okay, so right here I got a mess going on. Actually, what I'm doing is I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of this. I'm going to do this another way. Keep the slot, and we can go ahead and get rid of that duplicate. And we just go ahead and plug this in directly. So basically what this is, our locomotion here is being called on inside the main states. So the locomotion, if I click on it, there's our walk and run. It's just, all it has is a blend space just for the walking blend space. So that's why when you hit Z and he's just, you know, walking forward, it does not look natural at all. And he can jump, and, you know, he's blocking the view. I'm going to take care of that. But the way he's walking, so that's what we want to make sure he's walking to the left and to the right. So all right, so what we're going to do, we're going to actually add a Boolean blend space inside of here. So we're just going to go ahead and detach everything from the output. Now we want to right click and get a blend pose by bool. And this, we're going to call on this by the Boolean that we made. But first we have to go to the event graph. In the event graph, we're going to go ahead and we're going to look for our event blueprint update animation. You'll see it has a get valid and then a sequence. We're going to go add in another sequence. Next, we're going to go ahead and make another variable. We're just going to call this direction, and we're going to make this a float. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead, make sure that eyeball's checked. I'm going to go ahead and pull this in, and I'm going to set direction. And we're going to go ahead and connect that to pin number 3. Put a little return node in here, clean this up a little bit. Next, under references, we're going to pull the drop down, and you're going to go ahead and see the character movement. I like to make sure that these eyeballs are open. And so that character movement, just go ahead and drag it in, and we're just going to get character movement component, and then I'm going to get the velocity. Scroll down, there's my get velocity. Next, we're going to come off of velocity, and we're going to get calculation direction. Now you want the first one, the star on it. Now we're going to go ahead and pull in our character reference. We're going to get character, and we're going to get active rotation, and we're going to go ahead and plug that into the base rotation. And we take the return value and we plug it in the set direction. So let's go ahead and clean this up a little bit. We can go ahead and hit C and call this direction. All right, and we can actually just change the color if we want a little bit. Go ahead and make it a little bit brighter. That looks good. All right, let me go ahead and take this little node and pull it out a little bit. There we go. And we can just move that in. It looks fine. It's good enough. Okay, so that's done. Go ahead and compile that. So now we have a direction setting under this variable here. So we just call in this variable to get a direction. And the next thing I want to do is I want to go back in the sequence and I want to make a fourth pin. So now I want to get that character again. Get character, and I want to come off of it, and I want to do cast to do the third person character. There he is. Cast to BP third person character. That's what we want. So we can go ahead now and take number 4 here. Go and connect that to the cast BP third person character. And what we want to do now is we want to go ahead and get that target actor. Sorry, I'm going to go back into my BB third person character, that target anim that I made. So we go back in here, and so that's what we're going to call on is the target anim. So there it is right there. So we can get the target anim. All right. Now I want to go one more time. I want to go ahead and set target anim. So I'm going to go fluffy here. I'm going to set target. I'm going to call on the tandem, like target anim. So we can go ahead and set that so we can connect it. And the next thing I'm going to do, so we have a reference, is I'm going to go ahead and click and promote to variable. So I'm going to call this the target anim. And I'm going to make sure the target is the BP third person character. And we're just going to go ahead and plug that in. So now this is setting to if this is true or false. So if this is false or this is true, whatever it is that we have set in the event graph here. Actually, we did it. Yes, we did. We set it right here, the target anim. So this is true or this is false. This is where it's being selected. And this is what's going to control our animations now. So now we want to go ahead and make a blend space. So what I want to do, I want to stay under mannequins, the animations here. This is where I'm going to make my blend space. So I go under animations and I'm just going to call on the blend space here. And then we are going to go under the mannequin. No, that's the animation demo. So we're going to use the game character mannequins mesh. That's going to be our skeleton, and I'm going to call it target anim. Okay, so we're going to go in here. Okay, inside of our blend space, we're going to go ahead and under the axis, the horizon, we're going to have the drop down, and we're going to go ahead and call this direction. And we're going to have the minimum value is going to be -180. And the maximum value is going to be 180. And we are going to click snap to grid. Next, we're going to do our vertical axis. We're going to do this speed. And we're going to make our maximum value. Minimum value is going to stay at 0. And our maximum value is just going to be 1. And we're going to do snap to grid. Now we can go ahead and call on those animations that we made earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and type in jog, J-O-G. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to take the backwards first and I want to go ahead and line them up here. And I want to go ahead and put the rifle forward, make sure that's at the bottom, and then take the backwards again and line that up right there, actually the top. Okay, then we can take the left, put it on the left side, and then we can take the right and put it on the right side. So then we want to make sure that we have the forward. Take that again and put that at the top. So if we control, you see moves to the left, he does the right walk. And he's going backwards, and then here's his forwards. So we're going to go ahead and save that. So that's our blend space. We can close that out. Next, we want to go back to our Manny, and we want to go into our locomotion. where it says walk and run. We're going to go ahead and double click on that. Okay, so we already have the bull that we made. That was the target anim that I misspelled. So we're going to go ahead and drag that in. We can fix that later. That's not a big deal. So what we want to do is now we have this blend space here that if it's false, we want to go ahead and plug in this blend space. But the blend space that we want is the blend space that we just made, the target anim. So we're going to go ahead and drag that in, and we're going to go ahead and put that on the true here. But first we got to go ahead and we got to make sure ground speed and direction is plugged in. So I'm going to go ahead and get the ground speed. Oops, I got that wrong. Maybe Alt. Ground speed goes at the bottom for speed. And then I go ahead and put my direction that we made, and I can go ahead and drag that into direction. Let me go ahead and compile that. So now we got a blend space Boolean. So the Boolean is toggled on or off, true or false. And if it's false, it's going to go ahead and continue playing the ground speed that we had before. But if it's true, it's going to go ahead and start playing the new blend space right here. So let me go ahead, make sure, compile and save. So now if I hit play and I can run up to my enemy, I hit Z to target on him. And you can see I'm backing up and it's still target on him. His walk is left, his walking right, he's walking backwards, he's walking forward, his swing. So another problem, you can see that the character is blocking the target, so we can't have that. So we're going to go ahead and take care of that right now. So I'm going to exit out, go ahead and open this. And I want to go back into the BP third person character. So I'm just going to add timeline. Add a timeline. And I'm going to call it zoom timeline. So it's zoom timeline. There we go. So now on reverse, I'm going to come off of the false. So when I press Z the second time, so it's false, we're going to go ahead and connect that into the reverse. So I'm going to go inside the zoom timeline, and I'm going to go ahead and add a track float. So next I'm going to go ahead near the 0. I'm going to add a key. So I'm going to make sure that this is 0, 0. And so I'm going to go ahead and add another key right here. And this is going to be 0.51. I'm going to go extend this a little bit. So now I'm going to go ahead and select, and I'm going to put auto. So this smooths it out. I'm going to go ahead and select the first one, and the key that we have, and I'm going to go and select auto for a nice transition. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and go back into my event graph here. And what I want to do is off a zoom track here. I should say zoom track, but we're going to get a lerp. Just a regular lerp. So next I'm going to hit control and I'm going to plug into alpha. Next I'm going to come over here to the component and my follow camera. And if I come over to details and I go ahead and type in field of view, you'll see our field of view is at 90 is where we're going to be at. So we're going to go ahead and select A is going to be our 90 on the lerp. And I found a 65 to be good for our transition. So next I'm going to go back into the components and the follow camera. I'm going to go ahead and drag that in and put it up here. And what I want to do is get that set field of view. And we're going to go ahead and put that on the update. And we're going to take the in field of view, the value, and return it into the return value. Go ahead and clean that up a little bit here. So what I want to do is go ahead and sit here, C, and this is going to be our zoom timeline. So as you can see, we got our event ticked, we got our Boolean. If our Boolean's true, we're going to go ahead and get the value of that character that whatever character that we locked on from down here. It's going to set the controller rotation, and it's going to set the yaw like we want. And now we got the animation working because we got another Boolean, the target animation. So that goes at that's set true, which triggers the animation inside of the blueprint that we made with the blend space. So we're going to go ahead and test this out. I'm going to hit compile and save. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play. We can go ahead and grab a weapon, go up to our character. I zoom in on them. I can zoom off of them. Zooms in, zoom out, zoom in, and zooms out. But when you can see that we're zoomed all the way in, we're blocking the target. So I want to move the camera over a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and exit, and I'm going to get into the third person, a BP. I'm going to go into the viewport, and I'm going to select the follow camera. So let me get out of field of view. And so all I want to do is on the Y of the camera, I want to go ahead and move this. Let's say 150. Let's compile that, save. Let's go and test that out. So now I can run up to my character. I hit Z, it moves in, it locks on, and the character is not in the way. And this foot action is working backwards. The strife is working great. He's locked onto the character. I can come up for a blow go. I got the shield working great. And then I go and hit Z. It does an animation. It focuses off the character. And it's taking a little long. I'm going to see what's going on. Let me check that out. So I'm going to go back into my BP third person character blueprints. I'm going to go into the event graph, and I'm going to click on my zoom timeline. And just what I thought, it's up to 5 seconds. A little long. Let's just try 1 and see how that works. We're going to go compile that and save, and let's test this out. Now I hit Z. That was way. It's working great. I hit Z again, and it's right away. I hit Z. Z to target. Nice little transition. I hit Z to come off, and it just zooms out. Maybe 1 second is a little too long. So I'm going to go back and just let's try 0.5. There we go. Compile and save. I'm going to hit play. I go and teleport in. I go ahead and grab my weapon. I'm going to go and select my enemy. And I am going to hit Z again, and that looks a lot better. I like that. There's one more thing I want to do as far as his hand, so I'm going to hit target on him. The way he is holding his weapon. So we're going to go ahead and move that. Let me pull out of here. So I'm going to go back into the content drawer, and under the animations that we brought in, that we retargeted under the mannequins animations, under the Manny folder. Here they are right there. So we're going to go back in here, and we're just going to go ahead and change some animations like we did before with the shield. Now we're going to do the opposite hand. So I want to go into skeleton tree, and I want to select the right hand. I'm going to go ahead and pause the animation. I'm going to make sure it's set back to 0. And I'm going to select that right hand. And I'm going to move this on the axes, the right hand, just to rotate. Negative 25. That looks pretty good. Next, I'm going to select the clavicle right. And I'm going to move it on the x-axis, negative 50. And then I want to select the lower arm. and I am going to move this -20. So if you have any problems, just make sure you're snapped to either 10 or 5 so it snaps. And one thing I have to do is make sure the right hand is selected and we're all the way back at 0. I hit the key. The same with the lower arm, I hit the key, and the same with the clavicle, I hit the key. Now we're going to go ahead and test this out. Oh, I still got to do the rest. So actually, I'm going to go back into the hand, and we put it at -25. I'm going to make sure that is a 65. So let me go back and grab the hand, the right hand. We had 25. We're just going to add 25 more on there. Or yeah, there we go, 35. So we're going to keep it that. We're going to go ahead and key that in. So that would be a total of 65. So we're going to go ahead and make the rest a 65. So I'm going to go to the jog. We're going to open that one. So the right hand, we are going to make a -65. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and key that in. And the next, we are at the lower arm. We had that on the x-axis -20, so we key that in. And the last one is the clavicle. So that would be the clavicle right. I had that as -50. Let's go up to a -50 and let's key that in. And we're just going to do the same for the rest of them. Make sure I double click. We'll start with the clavicle. Since we already we're on selected on that one, we're going to do that the -50. So we're going to key that in. So then we're going to go to the lower arm. We are doing the -20. Oops, wrong way. So we'll go ahead and key that. And then we just the right hand, which we had the -65. There we go. And then we're going to go and key that. So we just do this to the rest. We got the forward or the backwards. So we're on the hand. We're going to do the -65. And then we're doing the lower arm, which was the lower arm is the -20. And the clavicle we had at 50, -50. About right there. You can play with these and adjust them how you like. It's all up to preference, really. This is fine for this tutorial. I'm not going to go and try to make it perfect. Okay, so I'm going to grab my weapon. I hit my Z. It targets it on my character. And you can see I fixed the animation a little bit. It's not perfect. Like I said, I got to mess with it a little bit. And I think 150 is a little too much. Let me go ahead and go into the BP third person character at stop. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit play again so we can get a full screen. So I grab my weapon, jump down on the character. I lock on him. Oh, like 150s. You can mess with that. Like I said, you can also mess with the animations. It's a way to use free. Oh, I knocked him down. Great. It's a good way to use free animations. There's another problem I have to fix. I'm not going to do it in this video, but he is still locked on. And I just got to tweak him a little bit. I think his collision is still there. Let me see if I lock on it. It still doesn't hit anything. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If I go ahead and grab my key here and I jump through the portal, I'll come to another world where I don't even have any character in here. Let me see if I have one over here. So it brings me back and there's my character. Go and grab my weapon. This time I want to do the hammer. The hammer of Thor. I can't grab it. I can't. There it is. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and lock on. There we go. You get the power of the hammer. Yeah, this is great. I'm enjoying this. There he goes. Wow, that really was powerful. So that's another thing I have to, like, when the character dies, it's gotta like stop locking on him. Look at the weapon, it's gone crazy over there. So if I hit Z, it locks off of it, and my weapon's doing like a dance in the breeze, like Gone with Wind, and just little tiny bugs that I need to mess with. And that'll be it for this video. If this tutorial helps you out, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. And like always, stay inspired and keep creating. I'll see you in the next video.